Hello and welcome back to You Don't Know Ball. We want to address something right out of the gate. No confusion everywhere. Hopes and prayers out to Dylan Fadden. He's not dead or anything, but he's fighting bears in the mountains. Bobcats.
He just used the bathroom.
All these types of animals. You know, he's wiping his ass with leaves. So we're just thinking of you, Dylan.
True fighter, honestly.
We really are.
He's in another world right now.
And you know what? It's a world that fits him. You know, he loves the outdoors, the natures. You know,
Hates bobcats though.
hates bobcats. So we're gonna stay away from that for the rest of the podcast. Dylan, we're thinking about you. Also did very well last week on our pick'ems. Shout out him. All right, let's get into it. I felt like a long week, but it feels good to be back in the studio. I'm excited. I know you guys are as well.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm excited.
But can we address yesterday's 12 o'clock slate? That was pretty damn bad.
There's been some.
Not just that slate.
Like, does it feel like this year's had some really bad football?
A lot of it.
A lot more often than it should be.
The simulation. No, I was thinking this yesterday, bro. The simulation is glitched. It's not even just football, but football, we're seeing it in, bro. This is not right. I was just thinking that. No, something's going wrong. These games aren't right. The officials are not right. And it's just the vibe of the games.
Mm-hmm.
It's like something feels off. It's like the hardest thing to explain. I'm not really going to be able to explain it, but I know we all thinking the same thing. Just something's not the same this year.
But you know what we can do for these listeners? Talk about the teams that are playing good football. Let's get into our top fives this week. Hunter, I'm going to have you kick it off for us.
Okay, so I kind of copied Tyler's. Not really, but we had the same one. So I had the Bills at 1. I just think like when you watch them play, they're just far ahead of any other team. You got the Eagles at 2 strictly because they're undefeated. But, you know, when they played Dallas, we were kind of talking about it a little bit. They just they look beatable, you know, like they play with high energy, but they look beatable. Chiefs number 3, self-explanatory. Cowboys number 4. I feel like they're a really good team, high caliber. Once Dak gets back, as long as they can stay in rhythm, they'll be fine. I mean, they won all those games with Cooper Rush at quarterback. Their offense wasn't the most electric when he was back there, but they still got it done. And then the Giants, they're 5-1. Even though I feel like they may not be at this tier of team, they're 5-1. You can't discredit that. So,
like Hunter said, we have the same list. Here it is: Bills, Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Giants. Bills are the top of the class. I think it might be a little bit of separation at the top two. They just seem too good. They had a 99-yard drive in a minute yesterday. How? Like so when I watched that, I asked myself, like, how do the Bears and other teams play in this league? Like with them, are we sure they're in the same league? And I just want to speak on the Giants. Not really sure if they're that good at 5. Like it hurts me to put them here because they shouldn't have won yesterday, but they did. They found a way. So that's my top 5.
You know, I think we're all going to end up being very similar here, but I went with, all right, so I got Bills, Eagles, Chiefs, and there's a reason I have an arrow here. I got Giants at 4, Cowboys at 5. Look, if Dak comes back and looks good, there's no way that they don't switch right then and there, okay? And the Giants are the potential fraud on this list. But that's the thing is, like Hunter said, I can't discredit them. 5-1 against a healthy slate of competition. It is what it is, man. Giants fans, you're feeling good right now, and you deserve it. But as far as everything else, you guys hit it out with the nail on the head. But I will say the one thing I want to change on my analysis versus your guys is the Eagles are kind of just there in the middle, right? And we know the Eagles, they just haven't lost. They deserve that respect. But I'm going to be honest. To me, it's like the Bills and the Chiefs. I don't think there's that much of a gap at all. And I think I also just want to point out, give myself a little pat on the back here. I think I was right about the fact that this first matchup, none of them wanted to pull their best tricks out of the bag. You could tell they were like, you know, like they both had their foot, like they wanted to win, but it wasn't like we're going to win this game at all costs. It's like, you know, I got to keep them guessing when we see them again because they're both thinking they're going to see each other again. This game was just the proof.
They definitely will see each other again. That's a fact. All right, so I think I'm the only guy without
your
the
5
Giants.
is disgusting.
Out
I'll
the
tell
Giants.
you right now. Your 5 is.
Oh, this is very interesting.
No, you're last.
Did I discredit your list before?
I'm sorry, but Jesus.
Hear me out.
I want to.
I asked myself this. Are the Giants a top 5 team? No. But who is a top 5 team? We have the Dolphins at 5 still. I don't think that there's a more well-oiled machine with a bad conductor, quarterback, if you have to go with my analogy, than the Dolphins. I mean, Tyreek is still going up for 170 yards with Skylar Thompson / Teddy Bridgewater. When Tua comes back, this team is going to go back on top. They are a top 5 team. They hung in there with the Vikings at, wasn't the best game, and they probably shouldn't have been hanging in there. The football team is still good, and we're talking about top 5 football teams. First time I put the Cowboys in there at 4. I have to give them my respect, even though I hate the Cowboys, but that's my top 5.
I understand the 5, and I kind of agree. If Tua was there, that would definitely be a top 5 team for me. So
Thank you, Hunter. Yeah, what's with this disgusting talk?
I don't agree with that. That's what it is.
All right, see how the Giants are going to be in a couple weeks and come back.
I'm not saying the Giants
He's
are
playing
good
the
at all.
long game.
You are saying they're a top 5 team.
I hated putting it here. I don't know who else to put. I'm not going to put the Ravens. I'm definitely not putting the Packers, not the Patriots. Like Niners, definitely not. Of all their injuries, I don't know who to put at 5.
Question.
At 5 there's a big drop off.
Do the Packers crack anyone's top 5 just
Never.
like a list the rest of the year?
No,
I don't know. I don't
you're
think so.
kind of stealing my thunder for later.
Oh,
They
sorry.
might crack mine.
Okay.
They
I don't
might.
think so. I don't think so.
I think that with it for the first time in so long, we can actually say that the Packers are like very clearly on a no matter what, like the net is a negative trajectory long term.
I will say-
This is looking really like bleak.
Not to go into Tyler's too much because I wanna answer this later, and this isn't directed strictly at the Packers. You're starting to see just across the league the teams that have been dominant for so long. You're starting to see like a power switch to the younger up and coming superstars. I feel like it's been a transition the last couple of years, and you're really starting to see like that transition kind of go over the edge, like we kind of saw in the Bucks game yesterday.
No, you're actually so right. I think there's a new game being played.
I'll get to that later too.
No, I agree with you, Hunter. There's a new game being played, and sorry if you're not adapting to how the NFL's played right now. You're getting behind.
Yeah.
You can see that with the Bucks. You can see that with a lot of teams.
Yep.
But the Bills and Chiefs reign supreme. So let's get into our first game of the week. Guess the grade. Everybody's favorite. This one throws everybody for a curveball. You never know who's going to be up here. There's some interesting people on this list, and I have a question just for you guys because I know this is going to be a little dicey. There's somebody in the top 5 that only threw for 15 balls. I think we should take him out.
Because I know who it is.
I'm okay with that.
That's okay. You should take him out just because I already know who it is.
Why are we trying to discredit Mariota?
No, it wasn't Mariota in the top 5.
Ooh.
What?
It wasn't Mariota.
Just say you gotta drop it for everybody now.
Who completed 15 passes?
No, only attempted 15.
Only attempted.
Skylar Thompson attempted 15 passes
Oh, no.
at an 85 overall grade. Top 2.
Can I give him?
So-
can I give him an
so
apology
which-
real quick, bro? I have to give him an apology because I said he was gonna be a deer in the headlight. Basically, I didn't say this exactly,
Mhm.
and I said I liked him as a prospect. Hey, but you know what? I gave him his flowers too in this, but I thought it wasn't gonna. Nothing was gonna show up. Hey, man, he surprised me. He looked more than comfortable given the situation. And Dolphins fans, I know you're not looking for a quarterback, but it's got to be good to have the security.
So what you're saying is anyone can step in there and do it. So Tua's not. You're not putting much.
Look at him.
I sort of
Oh
am.
my
I sort of am.
God.
All right,
Whoa,
I was just
whoa,
wondering.
whoa.
I was just wondering.
This is a wild
So you
moment
could
for
put
me.
in like I'm trying to think if it was.
You could put in
You
everybody.
could put in Josh Rosen. You think? Yeah, probably.
I'm not going to lie, maybe.
You probably could.
Maybe. Everybody that's on an NFL team right now besides Mitch.
That is just
Yeah.
so stupid.
If
to
Hunter
say.
was on the
He gets
soundbar
it.
right now, he'd be going, "You like that?"
No.
Yeah, sadly we don't have the sound bar because I'm feeling it.
I got to give a shouts to Mitchy Mitch, though, for being
Wait,
the Bucks,
we'll
man.
get to that later. We'll
All
get
right,
to that
let's,
later.
Let's get to the game. All right, guess the grade. So our contestants are going to be writing 5 names down in their boards, and they're going to be guessing who do they think will be in the top 5 for quarterback grades per Pro Football Focus. I think Tyler's been reigning champion for now 2 or 3 weeks. So
Disgusting.
I don't know if I
It's
won
been like
last
3.
let's.
I think I tied last week.
Let's
Dylan
see.
won last week. I think.
Ooh, Dylan, the
Dylan
sleeper
did.
pick with 12 points. Tyler, you're right behind him
Oh,
with
yeah,
10.
the tie break.
I'm the whisperer.
I forgot about the tie break.
All
The
right.
whisperer.
Would you look
Basically.
at that?
Just say that.
Would you look at that? Let me make sure I have everybody's name down. So I can
All
write
right,
it down.
so it doesn't have to be in any particular order, right, Connor?
No particular
Okay.
order.
Then
Then I'm just
gonna
gonna just write him. I'm just writing names. Nobody get mad at me if I didn't put your favorite quarterback who played better first. I'm just writing names on a board.
This is gonna be an interesting week.
Yeah, I
Oh, we know who one of
So-
them has to be, man. There's no way.
just
Come on.
to kind of riff while people are writing it down. My dad in our fantasy league, well, not in our dynasty league, but he picked up Matt Ryan and the running back
Deion Jackson.
Yeah, and he played them both,
Yo.
That's insanity.
Deion was such a play. Tell him he went crazy.
bro.
I guess I could tell him right now if he's listening.
Running back
Going crazy.
controversy. No, I'm
Running
just
back.
kidding.
Running back.
But I don't know. I just like if you look at like when JT and Najee were taken in fantasy this year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
JT is the
Sounds
biggest
scary.
fantasy bust in how
And-
long?
I haven't
Since
done it
McCaffrey.
yet, but I will
But-
be signing a Derrick Henry apology form.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
respect.
No, we're gonna make the official one.
Well,
I'm sorry, King.
Somebody needed the light of fire under his ass, so he should be thanking you.
Yeah, honestly, like he
Yeah.
knows
It's the way to
I've
spin
been his main hype beast
Yeah.
for the last couple years. So
He needed to hear it from the truest fans to let him know I need to pick up my game,
Yeah.
and I'm going to do it
Exactly.
for Hunter McNeely.
he actually DM'd me and said thank you,
Oh, that's freaking great.
and that's why Russ gonna ball out because I DM'd him too.
Oh,
I'm
you
gonna
hear
set him a little
that?
hype up one before tonight's game.
This is gonna be. No, not gonna say this is gonna be a good game because that'll just come back to bite
It's
me in
probably
the
gonna
ass.
be like 2-3.
Be a
tonight.
little bit better than mediocre. I'm hoping. All right. Does everybody have their 5?
Yeah,
I'm just give me one more sec, bro. I'm sorry. I'm honestly really debating here.
You
with
gotta
these-
analyze. I respect it.
with these
Who
last
that guy's
because
go-to?
I know
that caught out. the
Connor, I wanna do
sideline.
this
How
so
old
bad.
is
I feel
it? It was
like I have-
Claypool,
Do it.
baby.
knowing PFF,
Dylan said he was mid.
knowing
right?
PFF, bro.
Early, before the game.
So
yeah.
I was
So
getting slandered for going that money on Claypool, and then I just said hi Claypool after he put up 24 points. No one said anything.
That's what it is.
You did 24.
He snapped yesterday.
I don't know.
If you look at the box score for that game, look at the rush. Like 4 receivers had a carry. It was such. If you look at the box score, it's so weird.
Really?
I regret leaving someone off this list, but I have no choice.
It's
'cause,
just
like,
been a weird week. I feel like all the games I didn't pay attention to just because I was just so excited for the Bills Chiefs.
I was watching.
That's the only
them,
game I
I'm
watched.
Like, what is going on?
Yeah, I
I'm
didn't
not
like
gonna
it.
lie though, I might be in the minority here, but like Bills Chiefs, like I mean, it was just because it wasn't. That's the thing is, it was what I thought it was going to be. So I guess I can't be disappointed, but I just want a little bit more action. But that's
Really?
what we're gonna get in the playoff matchup.
I thought it
Like,
was perfect.
I guess we got a good amount of defensive
Yeah, I thought
action.
it
I
was
just
great.
wanted more offensive action. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
did want to see more points, but I thought it was good.
you could
regardless.
tell both teams were, pulling all the strings. They
They
were
were.
fighting. They were fighting, and that's all you can ask for. All right, we got everybody's lists down. Got some interesting names on the board. Let's flip them around and let everybody know what you got. Hunter, why don't you
They
start
can
us
read my
off?
atrocity of a
I
handwriting.
got Matt Ryan somehow. Marcus Mariota. We didn't take him off, right?
We did not take them
Okay.
off.
Bailey Zappi, Kirk Cousins, and then T-Law.
Okay,
Interesting.
interesting.
Okay, Tyler.
Mariota, Matt Ryan, Zappe, I don't know how you say it, Burrow,
Mitchie.
and Mitchie Mitch.
Okay.
Did I forget about the Mitchie?
All right, let's see it.
We're all similar, but hey, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Bailey Zapp, Matt Ryan. I snuck Danny Dimes in there, man. That's how I think.
Interesting. We got a lot of similar names on the board with a couple twists.
Yeah.
This is gonna go down. As a barn burner. But I mean, guys, there was one name that almost all of you missed. Dobbs got it. This was
Jones?
by far.
Jones?
I think this one was the easiest one.
Oh,
The
Josh.
highest graded quarterback from this last week, none other than Josh Allen.
Yeah,
Dobbs, congratulations.
I'm a capper.
Knocked
I
out-
think I almost
knocked
left
out
him
of
off.
the
He was
park.
the last guy I added. I was like, Josh
looked
didn't
at
turned
it.
over, no turn. I'm like, I got it. Like, how
He
could
played
I not?
great.
He
I-
did play great.
I looked at it, but he did. They started hot, and then I think he went like 6 or 7 in a row with no completions and stuff like that. I thought that would knock him off. I was gonna put him at 5, but I had to put Mitch up there. I had to.
I'm just still under the belief that anyone good is like not going to be on this list.
That's also
Mm.
very true. Yeah.
That's what scares you.
That's how they
That's
go
why I
down.
don't pick them.
That's how they
like
go
I
down.
see a guy who like I think should be on him. Like, well, like,
Right.
he could be an MVP, so no.
You know what?
It's too accurate.
Yeah. Let's just for shits and gigs, I'm gonna give you the bottom 5. We had Zach Wilson, Cooper Rush, Philip Walker, Kenny Pickett, Kyler Murray. That's a tough list. But just to throw it out
We
there.
knew.
Fields
I knew
wasn't there?
Kyler was going to be down there. It's
Fields,
only
Double
one.
XP weekend.
Fields is down there, but he's not
The bottom 5. That's cool with
he's
me.
not in the bottom 5. He's above Lamar, Gino, and Carson. So
Interesting.
not that that's a group you want to be
I'm missing piece.
into, but all right. So we're gonna skip Skylar Thompson, who was the second graded quarterback, but let's call The second highest graded passer from this week is Teddy Bridgewater. I don't think he was on any of these lists.
He had 2 picks.
Teddy B,
Doesn't
2 picks,
right? Doesn't PFF like
0 big time throws.
Okay, so see, that's why exactly another reason why PFF sucks sometimes. You can admit it.
Yeah, we're saying
Yeah,
it
I
on
don't know.
camera. PFF sucks sometimes.
I don't know
what are
how
they-
they
Maybe
got-
most of
yeah.
the time because
Kinda
that's
confusing.
blasphemous. How does that happen? No big time throws, 2 picks. How do you end your
No, Tyler, you don't get it. He made the perfect read to his crosser on
Like,
3rd and long.
I don't get
and it was
that.
just a game-changing
You know
play.
what? That's a decent point, Dobbs. I mean, if your scheme gives the guys open and like all you have to do is hit the guy open, you're probably going to get a good grade for
I'm
it.
just like,
That's
honestly,
pretty
this
gross.
is one that I'm actually shocked about. Like, there's other ones where it's been excusable, but
Mhm.
this one I'm like,
This is bad.
Both Dolphins quarterback this week were in the top 3. Both of them.
Yeah.
That played the first
The
half and second half. So
McDaniel
that's
trade.
that's
Okay, so
McDaniel.
so
And they
again,
lost.
you can put anyone in there and do what that anyone can do. Right?
I'm not
Okay.
going to say that on camera.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
All right.
oh no.
This is a good one. The third highest graded passer from this last week, Matthew Stafford, getting another appearance. Did anybody have him?
down?
No,
Nobody?
But wait, didn't he have? Hold up.
Matthew Stafford had 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He threw for 250 yards for a 78% completion rate.
that's what
Yeah,
does it
that's
for
pretty
you.
high. That's why I
That's-
almost put him down, but I saw the pick and I'm like, I don't know.
No,
just
no,
feel
I have
there's
a
so many
theory.
Better options.
I have a theory, guys. It's the only thing that makes any fucking sense. It really is. No, because you guys are gonna agree with this. No,
I'm excited.
it's the only. It really is. I'm being serious. Now, the only way this works, there's clearly the same guy is not going and grading each quarterback. I think what's going on
Okay.
here is we got one guy who's like, he's just the teacher who doesn't give a fuck. You know, he's just doing whatever. He's like, oh, yeah, man, it's okay. He's just taking off a few points here and there.
Yeah.
He's like, no, he's being super generous. And we got someone in here being just crazy, like taking 5 points off for missing a dude by 1 yard. There's just no way. There's just no way this is consistent. I'm
Well-
just like, this is ridiculous.
I will say I watched like a Trent Dilfer breakdown like Justin Fields, and he said like they do like the plus
Mhm.
minus
Yeah.
system. And he said regardless, for example, like everyone grades differently, and like he'll give a minus for an interception, regardless if it's the quarterback's fault. Like, but he said
That's-
some graders won't do that.
Mhm.
So I can see where that's coming from, Dobbs. There probably
look
is.
into-
There's
yeah.
probably like
You're
a
right.
base system they have to follow, but there are probably, there's harder graders than others.
You're
There
right.
has to be.
That's a really good point because Pro Football Focus doesn't grade the picks that aren't the quarterback's fault.
Mhm.
If it's not the QB's fault, they're not going to grade it as QB's fault. Also, the grades come in with a multitude. They apparently have this some sort of like army that just grades all the games, all this football. So I think there's got to be at least a group of 5 or 10 people watching every quarterback and coming up with these grades. So it is consistent in a way, but I understand what you're saying is that week to week, it's a crapshoot. And that's why the game is so much fun.
It is.
because
Oh,
you got all these random
this
names
game
out
is
here.
classic.
Yeah.
We're never letting go of this game.
All right. We got the 4th highest graded passer from this last week on a couple lists, Joe Burrow.
I
Who had
watched
him?
it live. He
Dobbs.
cooked us. There was no
Me
doubt.
too,
Joey
yeah.
beat us.
Dobbs and Tyler. All
I haven't
right.
scored a fucking point. Last week I was struggling.
Was that the 4th highest graded? Yes, that's 2.
I watched the
Third.
Saints play just 4 minutes of incompetent
Was that 4 or
defense.
3?
Just trying
That
not
was
to break
4.
my TV. I
1,
knew there was no way
2,
Joe Burrow
3,
wasn't just.
4.
He was
Oh.
cooking us. It was
So
just atrocious.
Dobbs won already.
Oh, we don't know.
You don't know yet.
pretty much. But
Well,
let's
'cause
see.
the 5th spot, you
Let's see.
get 1 point.
Well, let's see. All right. The 5th spot, the 5th highest graded quarterback from this last week. This is a fun one. Bailey Zappi.
All right, well, there I got a couple points.
Who had that? Everybody?
We all
I
did,
did.
yeah.
Everybody?
What's going on in New England?
Got 1 point.
Like,
for
That's,
everybody.
we
that's for
actually talk
later.
about-
Come
okay,
on.
okay, my
come
bad,
on.
my bad.
Oh, actually, no, that's not part of mine.
We
It's
actually
not.
need to talk
Like,
about that
I
because we
guess-
actually really need to talk.
We can digress now.
I
I
just
have no problem.
just
with
like quickly is like, when do you as a team, when your backup, he's a young guy, it's not like he's a veteran that's been around, when do you as a team look at your quarterback situation and go, I don't care, Mac Jones is the 1st round pick? And I'm not saying Bailey Zappi is there at all, but I'm saying if he continues to perform and Mac Jones was not earlier this year, when do you start looking at, well, does it even really matter that he's the 1st round pick? Like, that's why, like, when the Bears, this is just because it's close to our situation, when everyone was like, oh, well, what if they get rid of Jenkins or they're benching him like he was a 2nd round pick? That's not by their regime. Why would they care? And my thing is, why would you not just want the better player? Fuck the draft pick. Fuck where he was taken.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not want the better player? That should hold no value. I know it's like it looks worse on the team, but I don't know. If he continues to perform and win, I mean, they're putting up a lot of points. He's running the offense effectively. Like, at what point do you go, okay, well, Mac, like I know you got hurt and all, but until Zappy's not producing.
That's like what I was. Yes, to the point. I know a bunch of people on Twitter were like talking about like the Bledsoe Brady thing that happened back then. Obviously, it's still with the Patriots. They went with Brady and worked out very well. But like, I don't know if this is like obviously not a similar scenario at all. But like, I feel like Zappe is like he wants to push it downfield. Like he doesn't give a damn if he makes a mistake at this point. I feel like it's because, and I think in the back of his mind knows I'm probably not going to get continue to have the job.
Take the shots when you
he's
got
going to
him.
take. He's going to push it downfield more, and I thought he did yesterday too. And that just like screams like from his college numbers. Like watching him, bro. Sometimes like because I'd put Western Kentucky on because like their point, they scored a lot of points. This guy's stats in college were 59, 67 total yard or passing yards, 62 touchdowns and 11 picks. He was throwing it all over the field. That's awesome to watch. That makes me think like he's a gunslinger. He's gonna let it ride, and it's working out. What do they do? I don't know. I really don't know.
So I just have a few things to say about this. I got to read off my chest, and because this. So first of all, I got like so many things to say. I'm gonna try to say it in a short time. To your point, Hunter, about how Mac Jones was the first round pick and all that, I'm with you 100%. That shit does not matter. So another interesting thing about this that I've been thinking about is because I was reading about this earlier, and who knows how true it is. But basically right now there's this rumor going around that basically Mac Jones and his camp are very unhappy with the way the Patriots are dealing with the situation, the way that they're dealt with the offensive coordinator situation this offseason. And they're basically saying like, well, you took Mac out of what he was comfortable doing, and now it's like this guy's being thrust into the spotlight and he's looking like the hero. And that's what makes it interesting is I'm over here and I'm like, well, what's Mac Jones's camp's stance? He's had the extra year. Who gives a shit that he was already it was in McDaniel's offense and it was working? That doesn't matter. Bailey Zapp stepped into Matt fucking Patricia's offense and looks like a fucking stud. So where's the defense? Where does they expect us to feel bad for Mac Jones? He couldn't pick it up, but the kid from Western Kentucky could.
Yeah.
I think, and if anything, there's just really quiet confidence to him that I love. And I think that's kind of my thing is the quiet confidence. I think the kid's kind of a quiet killer. I think he's coming for like Mac Jones' spot sooner than later. And
he's got really nice touch on the ball.
His touch. He doesn't panic in the pocket. Mac was panicking a lot in the pocket early year. He looks this year. It's not even close. This year, Mac Jones looked awesome last year, but this year, Bailey Zapp looks like 2 times the quarterback.
Oh my God, Mac Jones in San Francisco.
Fire.
I mean,
what they've always wanted.
If Trey Lance,
what they
Trey Lance back in there.
What they always wanted.
It was Jones or Lance.
I would love to leak that
That's
out.
what they said.
Oh my God.
That's actually hysterical, but wait a minute. The Patriots get what they want.
That's a
true.
Crazy thing that you just brought up. Holy shit.
All right. So that was Guess the Grade. We kind of got off topic, but Dobbs, congratulations on the W. First time. There we go. We love to see it. Coming from another guy that is a pro football focused guy like me. I knew you were gonna win one of these sooner or later, and I was like, it's coming, and here it is. Congratulations, my
Bailey
friend.
Zapp was the cherry on top. I knew I got at least some points in Bailey.
Yep.
I had a feeling he was going to be 2 or 3. It went exactly according to plan.
Right.
You love to see when it happens.
The big kicker was Josh Allen too, and you know what? Getting the 5 spot actually hit something for me. I think we're gonna change the way that we do the guess and the grade thing, so it's a little bit closer. Because if you get the top guy, you're pretty much guaranteeing yourself the dub. So we're gonna change it next week. I've got a better idea of how we're gonna do it, but it's gonna be a little bit more fun.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's already tons of fun. So if we're on track for a little bit more fun, we're rocking and rolling.
Who doesn't want a little bit more fun,
Exactly.
right? Like that's what we're all here for.
It's like when DraftKings gives you 100% odds boost. It's like, I just want a little bit more fun. I was already had fucking degenerate gambling anyway. I might as well have a little more fun doing it.
That's such a great point, Dubs. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like gambling this year has been a shit show. But if you're doing the right things, you're still finding your way to the positive side. But it's been a weird year for gambling. Our parlay did not do very well, but I think that's because we went about it wrong.
We got smoked.
Well, the thing is, we were taking everything at surface value.
Yeah.
When we talked about the games, we can't decide of it on there because when incentively, like when you gamble, you're taking a bet that you feel yourself, it's hard to do it in between like 4 people and take the normal thing because it's just going to be the thing that everybody else bets on. I think next week we're all going to come. I think we should all come with one bet that they really they see the line. They see the edge.
Okay.
If we all come with one that we see that edge, we pull it together. Bang. I know that's just going to hit. So we'll have a better way for next week.
We needed to keep this in mind for all of us. This is definitely something crucial because we haven't been doing it. My apologies. Here's what we're going to do. When we're looking at a bet, we got to keep in mind, we got to look up what's the weather going to be for that game.
Yeah.
And then we got to look up the injury report for that game. I feel like that's what we didn't do last week. That might have been our like Achilles heel on it.
Great point.
We cover those 2 things. We're golden. We're
That's
just
a
doing it
great
right on the
point.
spot, like you said.
Yeah.
We do those a little advanced. Perfect.
That's actually a great point. And you know what? Since you had a great point, Dabs, I'm going to kick the floor to you for your game next week.
Hey. All right, boys. Well, hope you're ready because so a lot like last week. And let me explain to the camera because a lot of people in the comments when we posted on socials, they kind of were under the impression I think it was for fantasy. And I think that's why people were a little confused. I'm gonna add that. I'll add this in for the socials for this week so everyone understands. But yeah, so this is real life. This is not fantasy. You might figure because these are defensive players this week. But look, man, it's 3 players at 3 different defensive positions groups, and we're gonna identify who you're gonna start, who you're benching, and who you're trading. All right, start, bench, trade, same as last week. And let's start off with our big interior rushers, run stuffers. They do both of them.
Oh,
That's why I picked guys. I didn't just pick one trick point. I picked guys that are studs at the position right now. So here's what we're doing, boys. We got Dexter Lawrence, Chris Jones, and DJ Reader. Who are you starting?
Damn.
Who are you benching?
What the fuck?
Who are you trading?
You coming with that heat right away?
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Holy shit.
I think I have an idea of what I'm doing, but like,
I'm going to keep it so real with you right now. I'm probably going to back off on the analysis portion of this because I'm more versed on offense and I don't want to throw out a stupid opinion.
Yeah,
No, honestly,
I
I think
don't really know about the next
yours
one
might just be
list
yours
guys
just might be
either.
like yours might give like some color to this where yours might just be like all over the place in a good way. It's what we need.
Yeah. Well, I know Chris Jones is looking like a dog.
That's the thing though, is I'm not gonna lie to you, is I'm not even sure I'm starting right now.
So why do you have to do this to me?
I know Dexter's having a better year, but I'm still going with the vet.
Great.
He's having a crazy year, but I'm gonna go with the vet. Yeah, that's why I was kind of mad with Dexter here too. And Reader's having an awesome year too, I believe.
He's having
So
such
they're all
a
having
break.
good
He's having
years.
such a breakout year.
So that's whatever. I don't know. All of these guys can stay on my team if I'm the GM.
I will say this, and maybe this is a reason why. I mean, like that Bills Chiefs game was really good. It's just I think those defenses are a little bit more mature in like what they do now, and like they're a little bit more talented. So I think that's why like we're not going to see like those 50 games.
Yeah.
And like it was more of like a balanced game. It really was. And maybe like going on top of that, like we're talking about how we're seeing a lot of bad football. I honestly just believe that there was a ton of new schemes and a ton of new plays and all that stuff. And the league is kind of like catching up to all that.
Yeah.
So like that's why we're seeing it be a little bit slower. you know?
Defensively always adapts first too. I feel like because I mean Nagy was the perfect example.
Yeah.
Came in guns a-blazing and then they figured him out. And I feel like it's easier for defensive guys to figure it out. Like Dan Quinn, surely as fuck got it figured out right now. A bunch of them do.
Yeah.
I can't do
So
this.
And I would use Wade Phillips as another example too. Like literally year in and year out, you're like, oh yeah, Wade's washed. And the next year he'd come back with something different. It's like,
yeah, so it's easier for the defensive guys to adapt.
Wade is still asking for, and also someone get that man a job or something. I've seen like on Twitter, he'll just be like, hey, I'm ready to come back and work if anybody wants to sign me. Someone get that man like somewhere. Like he could definitely do something for your team. Actually, I gotta double check.
Struggling.
Let me
You're
fact
not
check
gonna
myself.
get shot in the head if you
Because
don't.
the last time
fucking-
I saw one of these
I
tweets was
love-
like months ago. Let's see if he
I
still
love
is.
all 3 of these players so
Yeah,
much.
so
that
do I. But you ain't got a gun to your head right now. This dude's over here like
They're
about to
watching
cry.
us. DJ Reader's watching me do this. And he's
Low-key.
like, Connor, you better not fucking
Connor, before
trade
you
me."
go, I just have to say this. Wade Phillips is the head coach of the Houston Roughnecks, the XFL.
He was.
What's that? Time out? Because isn't the XFL coming back though?
Yeah, The Rock bought it.
So it's like, are they coming back? And is he like the?
I think they're coming back
Is he like
this
the new?
coming year.
Is he gonna be like the new
2023.
head coach? That's just what his bio says right now. I'm just a law.
I think he was.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because I don't think they're keeping the same teams.
I wouldn't
No.
think so either. Yeah, that's just.
They need to bring a team to Chicago.
Yeah, RIP the Roughnecks. That was a fun 3 week
Go to a
stretch
game
for
for
us.
like $40.
Get a little drunk.
Yeah,
Me and Hunter were contemplating buying the Roughneck sweatshirts. It was a fun 3
I
weeks.
have one.
Oh yeah, you did. I was like, should I get the merchandise?
I have a DC Defenders one.
Oh, that's wrong. That's wrong.
Like Cardale.
Yeah. That's,
All right, I'm ready.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, no, cook up
this
some
dude's over
for
here
you, Connor.
sad.
I know. Sad.
I'm very upset at you, Dobbs, because this just like broke my heart just making this list.
No, bro, me too. I'm sick.
I'm a fanatic of a lot of defensive players, and all three of these guys are just playing so well this year that like.
You go first.
All right.
All right. This is my list. I have to pay my respect to Chris Jones because I can't even spit it out. Chris Jones
They all hate you now.
is the best pass rusher of the bunch, and that's why I'm putting him at the top. Also because the Chiefs have had a legacy of like these great pass rushers, Justin Houston, and like I think Chris Jones is going to cement himself as an upper echelon, maybe even Hall of Fame caliber player, because he's been doing it for so long and he's been so good that I honestly thought about trading him because get the oldest guy, the best value, like that makes sense to me. But at the same time, I can't rightfully in my heart put Chris Jones not as my starter. So, God, I'm sorry, DJ Reader. I'm sorry, Dexter Lawrence, but that's just how it's got to be. This is the position I was put in.
So I'm gonna switch things up a little bit, though, Connor. I'm gonna switch things up.
Bring it up.
I love it.
A brighter light to this podcast because I'm killing the vibe right
No,
now.
because this breaks my heart too. Honestly, this whole thing, I'm proud of myself though. I'm giving you guys tough ones, giving us tough ones. So I'm starting Dexter Lawrence. My logic on this, I think you guys are gonna like this. Of all these again, all just terrific, just interior players. But Dexter Lawrence is like the archetype of just wall. You know, like he's just wall. Like he's gonna run, he's gonna break down the pass. He's gonna be a great pass rusher on most snaps. He's gonna play the run perfectly almost every single time. He's a wall. And then to your point, he's just most versatile. You know what I mean? I got him. He's most versatile guy. And then the Chris Jones though is just playing at an all-pro ballistic pass rushing level, and he's the best pass rusher. So that's why it's for situations we got to keep him on the bench, right? And then I'm trading DJ Reader just because fantastic play this year, like potential all-pro season on the table. But it's more just like that's kind of where I'm thinking is it's like, is this value going to keep itself going? I don't know. Sometimes you get a guy who has 1 year like this and it never happens again. And that's exactly why I would trade DJ Reader while the value is up there.
Yeah, wait, no. Yeah. So I started Chris Jones, simply the veteran presence. Like he makes the big plays when you need to. Seems like he's always in the mix of something, a fumble, controversy with Derek Carr almost killing him, supposedly. Bullshit. I'll bench Dexter because I feel like we've been all like kind of waiting for him to get into the spotlight and start making plays, and now he has. He's going to be good for a long time. And then, like you said, Reader's having a great year, and I just have to trade him, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to trade any of these guys or bench him, but Reader's the one that gets the short end of the stick here.
I had the same list as Tyler, so I'm not even gonna go into it.
Okay. Great minds thinking alike over there.
Yeah.
And then me and Connor.
I'm still trying
similar.
to recover from this game.
Yeah,
Oh, it's just going to get crazier. Are you ready?
You're literally about to cry, bro.
He's got 2 more. He has 6 more decisions to make.
I
So
could
it's going to
talk
get.
all day about these guys, like all day.
No, seriously. Me and Connor seriously just put ourselves like
First
20 minutes
so
short
much.
on like our explanation of these guys.
And it's like, I don't know, defensive interior guys like in the past used to not get any love. And like the way the game's being played right now, having that guy in the middle just like controlling the defense, it's so much more important than it used to be. And it's like these guys need their flowers and they're slowly starting to get it, but like they don't get it enough. They don't. Defensive interior guys are they're the backbone of the defense, the unsung heroes. And like these guys are playing so well this year. Like we always wanted Dexter Lawrence to play well because he's a 340-pound dude from Clemson. You're
High
like,
pick,
oh, he's gonna be a
kinda.
beast, and he never was, but now he's amazing.
Bro.
That's what the Giants needed too. Yeah, they needed him to step up. And Leonard Williams, right? He's with the Giants. Still.
Yep, he's still there.
He's been out, right?
Yeah, he played
Or
he played this last
yesterday?
week. Yep.
Okay.
Shout out Patrick Graham for getting the most out of his guys, because I'll
yeah.
tell you that's an underlying fact for the Giants this year.
No, I mean, that is definitely a fact. All right, boys, on to the next position group. I can't say it's going to be harder. I'll say I think it's about just as hard.
You better not put me in a spot.
I think
this.
I think it's about just as hard, to be honest. All right, so boys, we're going to the edge rushers. Got to give our love to our boys on the edge, and we're gonna go Montez Sweat,
Ooh.
Josh Allen, and then Gregory Rousseau. What are you guys thinking? I know where I'm going with this, and I love it.
Y'all know I really like Washington,
Yeah, they're cool.
so I like Sweat.
Yeah, I do too. He'll be good.
Connor literally said he would filibuster about interior linemen. That's crazy.
Oh my god. This one's not as bad, but I'm still struggling.
Hi, Greg. You'll be on another team.
Oh god.
I don't know. I just to kind of talk about the Commanders. Me and Tyler went just to kind of fill some space here, and they look like shit.
Yeah,
And we lost.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bayless Jones.
Yeah, Bayless Jones should be cut.
No, honestly, excited to ask you the boys this.
Fuck the
I didn't want to like. I know how it is the night of. Like, I literally wasn't even at the game yesterday, and I was just mad all day after the Saints game. Like, not how mad you were, but more just like, what was the vibe right after
So,
the game, like at the
I mean,
stadium?
I
Because
was
like,
more-
I'm sure it would have been like everybody was just knows, like they were like, I can't believe this.
I don't know. I was mad, of course, yes, but like at the end of the day, I was like,
This is
you can't write it up better for a Bears to lose a game.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
You
meant to
couldn't.
happen for the draft though. Like, just maybe there's
You
a player
couldn't.
who's meant to be a Bear.
And I'm gonna go on record and say, I don't give a damn if Bayless Jones is our third round pick. I would cut him
Cut his ass.
the day after on Friday
Trade
because
his
they played a
ass,
Thursday
something.
night game. He would be cut. I don't care. He's 25 years old. He really doesn't play on offense what he's supposed to be good at. Drafted for yeah. He really doesn't do much except for drop punts and quite honestly lost us 2 games. Yeah, he dropped the one in the Giants game. We were down 8. There was still a chance. This one we were up, and then he gave it to him at the 5. He should be cut. And that's the end of my spiel. But we did see someone get not horribly into a crash, but it was just like the guy was more mad that he got clipped on Lakeshore Drive. And it was just funny to see. No one got hurt.
Yeah.
No one was injured like
We were
crazy.
sour as fuck after the
But
game.
like when you saw the guy got out of his car, it was like he threw his hands in the air. It was just like a good reaction from him. I felt bad, but
So,
we were sour after the game, and dude literally like pulled his car around to get around this car that was turning right that like wouldn't move, and another car from another lane came and like clipped his bumper. He was sick as fuck.
yeah.
But something I want to say about
I'm sick
Bayless
for
and
him.
Marset, because talking about the theme of losing games, these are guys fighting for a roster spot, and I understand where their mindset is. They're trying to make a play to make themselves known. The way you stay on a team when you're fighting for a roster spot is you make the smart decision. You're not going to, by making those selfish plays, you're putting the team at risk, and that's going to get you cut. That's going to make you move down the roster. It is so opposite of what these guys think they're doing. Like I said, I don't know what's going on in their mind, but just from like an outside perspective, it looks like they're trying to make a play when in reality, they just need to make the smart move and do the right thing.
And like for Velas's case, I mean, I'm sure as the special teams coach, why are you backpedaling to the 5? I'm
That was
pretty
horrible.
sure it's like a written rule in the NFL, like put your heels at like or not NFL, but maybe
10.
all football. Put your heels at the 10 or the 15. If it's over your head, get the hell out.
Because most likely it's bouncing back. And then
90% chance it's gonna bounce to the back of the end zone. You start at 25. He was at like the 7, maybe bounce like going backwards. No.
It's kind of crazy to see. You think those are like things that even high school football people, the coaches, they're like, this is the rule, abide by it. College people, they still fuck it up.
Dude, I was-
NFL, like this is
It's a joke.
just thinking,
Yeah.
you're just thinking too much.
I was the backup punter, and they told me. I think it was like the 10 or 15. I was obviously not fast, not a great punt returner, but I didn't even want to catch the damn ball. I didn't even get it at offside. I did it once, and I got killed. But they literally told me, 15, at that, it goes over your head. See you later.
Mm-hmm.
Run the hell to the sideline. We'll have another day. Fight another day.
shouldn't be that hard.
It's not hard. Don't get it. Pisses me off more than anything because it's such a simple mistake that should have been fixed when he dropped his first punt. Now I'm getting off a tangent.
No,
I'm mad as
we're
hell.
going to go back
Dobbs,
to the game
go
one
ahead.
second because I just have one comment. We're going to go right back to the game. I just think it really speaks volumes to me personally. He's getting no snaps to receiver, and he took up the third round capital, and they have nothing to fucking lose playing him. Speaks complete volumes, honestly, about how poorly he is looking at practice when he lines up a receiver, which is incredibly concerning.
I think
it's just
while I agree, he was dealing with that hamstring for a while.
Yes.
So they might not have been able to work him in, but it is concerning that they're not getting him in more.
That he's
because,
still not even.
I mean, what the fuck? You're going to develop
well,
Byron
let me give you an example.
Right.
Let me give you an example. Because I don't even remember. I'm capping. I'm so sorry. On his man, I don't even remember his name right now. There's too many things going on at once. But I'm going to give Rashid Shaheed. Shout out our guy we called up off the practice squad from Weber State. Literally on a week's notice, comes in, takes a jet sweep, 45 yards to the crib on the first snap he gets in the NFL. It's like Velus Jones isn't doing. It's just, you know what I mean?
Nothing.
Like that's
Yeah.
literally that's what I mean. It's just like that's concerning. Is like there's just nothing. But off of our Velus Jones tangent, boys, we had some time to think. Well, we're going to start bench and trade. Kind of want you to start us off. Let us know how you're dealing with the edge rushers here.
I'm doing a lot better, Dobbs. This is a lot easier than the last one. I don't know why I got so upset and
His
into
nose
that
tackles.
one.
He's his interior guys.
Love my interior guys. So this is actually pretty interesting. I'm starting Rousseau, benching Josh Allen, and I'm trading Montez Sweat. As I'm viewing it, Dobbs, you had the same list as me.
Yeah, we went crazy.
But the reason that this is interesting is because Sweat actually has the highest grade out of all of them. Allen has the second, and Rousseau has the third. But let me walk you through, what I was thinking here. Sweat has never really played at an elite level for an entire season. Yeah, he had like an elite grade against the Bears, but it's the Bears offensive tackles. You have to take that into fact when you're looking at these grades is like, who do they play? Who are they matched up with? What happened in the game? Because yeah, they might have an amazing grade, but you got to watch the little things are what make up the grade. And that's why people, I think, get a little construed with Pro Football Focus is because they don't look into the why and, all the little things that add up to this stuff. So I'm still going to take Rousseau because I think he's the rawest. I think you can learn a lot from Von Miller, and he's on a great team. His career arc is set up for a lot of success. Josh Allen, can't really say the same. I don't really trust Jacksonville at all as a franchise, organization, or team. So that's my reasoning.
Okay, I love it, and I don't even have too much more to say because you basically hit everything on the head. Only thing I wanted to say that I would change about what you said is just, and I think you'll agree with this. Main reason for me that I was trading Montez instead of because Josh Allen and him was kind of a hard, like where I was like I don't know how I feel like. I think with Montez Sweat you get the most versatility where almost any team would be willing to trade with you. They're like, you know what, I could use that guy on the inside in a 5-man. You know what, or maybe or you could use him on the outside. You could also use him on the edge on a 4-man. I think it's where it's like you can literally use him any way you want, and I think therefore he has value about any team would be kind of looking at some point. Like he has so much versatility in any scheme.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
My turn?
No.
Okay. I did start Sweat, bench Josh Allen, and trade Rousseau.
Okay.
I do like Rousseau though. There's nothing wrong with him as a player. I just haven't seen enough from him yet. I feel like that's fair. Need to see more for you to enter that. Sweat, I think he had a pretty good year last year, if I'm not mistaken. And that other, like you were saying, you got to take into other factors. I mean, when Chase Young gets back and stuff like that, he's gonna have pretty much one-on-one matchups all the time. You should be able to eat all that stuff. And then I'll bench Josh Allen. I'm just hoping it works out for the Jags at this point because, man, it just seems like a never-ending cycle of dog shit.
Just they're the biggest question mark. They can have that title. The Jaguars are could we agree on this? Are they officially the question mark of the entire league? They
For
are
a long time.
They're going to stick there for the next couple years with Trevor Lawrence because it's like that's just such a question mark.
It's been like that since I've been alive, I feel.
But I feel like this is like a weird time where like, oh, maybe they could
Actually,
be on the
I
right
really like
trajectory, but it's like, I don't know.
I feel like if they nail like this coming year's draft, they could be set up pretty well. I think Doug Peterson's a great coach.
I do like
Well, that was
Peterson,
that. No,
For
that was the
T-Law,
first
yeah.
step.
But I had the same list. I had Sweat starting, benching Josh Allen, and trading Rousseau. Kind of with the same thing for Rousseau. I just got to see more. I really like Sweat just because like I said, I'm a DC hype beast. But I kind of what Tyler's point, and that was going to be my main point with starting him, is when you have Chase Young on the other end, that pass rush is dirty. And I like Josh Allen. I just think for me, he's a guy that will make a play, like athletic, very athletic. So Like I said, I'm not going to give too much on it, but I think Sweat has. That's who I would start out of the three. That's why I feel comfortable in my defense.
All right, so it's basically like we just kind of split the table on that one. And then you have the two opposite sides of the DC spectrum. You have the DC supporter, and then you have the DC loather on this end.
That's why we're sitting on opposite sides of the table.
But I forgot to make that point. There's a common theme or not a common theme. You hate one, you love them.
All right, boys. Well, I had fun. I had fun playing some. It's kind of like armchair GM, even though it's not the name of it.
Yeah,
It's like I had fun playing some armchair GM. You know
Positional armchair GM.
Yeah, positional armchair GM. Hope you guys had fun too. I know we got some more next week, so
I always like trying to be a GM for a day. It's always fun.
Oh yeah, that's the best part of playing Madden.
If you're not an NFL fan, you haven't at least thought of what it would be like to be a GM and what moves you would make at least once or twice a week, maybe.
Everyone in the offseason wants to be a GM.
Yeah, literally. And that's what the offseason is. Basically, just tell friends, I'm a fake GM.
Yeah, Ryan Poles, I will get you coffee whenever you want. Like, just get me in. Let me in.
help
Let me
me out.
into the.
I'll shine your
division.
shoes. Let me see what you got.
I'll shine.
What if you just got in there with Poles and he was like, honestly, dude, I don't know what I'm doing, man. He's like, I'm just getting paid a lot to be here. And he's like, he's like, our little secret. And you're
Hunter
like,
will
what
not
the
stand
fuck?
for it.
Yeah.
Can't stand the Poles slander.
All right. I'm not even slandering him, but
That would tell me it's not hysterical.
I just got a couple questions for the fellas. That's all it is. Simple. Give me your answers. It's nothing crazy.
Okay.
But we'll start off with the first one. Arch rivals of a couple people on the set. Out of 10, where are you putting the Packers panic meter? Out of 10. And I'm not going to say mine first.
Can I put a number on the board?
Yeah, put a number on the
Let's say,
board.
I think that's a good idea. Let's put a
Out
number
of,
on the
out
board.
of 10, 10 is like, damn, hit the meter, ring it, Jordan
All right,
Love
I have
time.
one thing to look up
something
before
like
I fill
that.
this out.
Give me a second.
You looking up schedules?
Not even. I'm honestly. I actually am
I
looking
don't
up
need
the
this.
long.
I gotta read
term.
I read the Packers Reddit enough.
I want to
know
see
where
who's
they
dealing
are.
with
And,
a long
that's
time
what
right now.
that's what I also wanted to hit on. Like, I'm on Twitter. We all are on Twitter. A lot of people are. If you're an NFL fan, man, they were coming for LaFleur and Rodgers' head yesterday, which is something that I've never seen. So that's why I asked this question. And
No,
we'll
Hunter, you were right. Packers fans are not prepared for what it
So-
takes to go through a rebuild.
I found with any team. You want me to just go?
I'm gonna hit it
so
off to Hunter.
I got an 8 because this is the thing. The Packers, and everyone knows this, that it's not a Packers fan. You don't get Hall of Fame quarterbacks like that. They have had 2 back-to-back. They do not understand what it is like to deal with on a season-to-season basis, not having a quarterback that is a Hall of Famer. You just had a back-to-back MVP quarterback, and they're calling for his job. Like, think about that. They are calling for his job. What are they? They're 500?
3-3.
They're 500.
I think.
They're not out of the playoffs, and they're calling for their job.
They're basically in it.
It's so ridiculous because I cannot wait. And this obviously has to be just like self-built up hatred of the seeing them beat us every year. But in reality, you have a 500 team. You have a Hall of Fame quarterback who's won MVP back-to-back years. You guys have gone to the playoffs with this coach, and you're calling for their jobs it's week 6. So my thing is, the reason it's 8 is because the Packers fans are really starting to see, and this is what I was going to kind of talk about with the Bucs. You're looking at Brady, you're looking at Rodgers. They are not playing at the top of their game, regardless if that's them or their teams. They're struggling. You're starting to see it go over the cliff a little bit. And I think the Packers fans are starting to realize, oh, wow, this may be over.
That was good.
That was awesome. I loved every
Yeah, it was
second
really
of that. We'll go to Dobbs. Give me your panic meter.
Oh, okay. Straight to me because I think I like that because I've just had a few things I wanted to like counter off of like because Hunter's making really good points. I'm going 7, just 1 behind Hunter, and this just because my only reason is because the panic is real, and like you were saying, it's real, and the only reason I'm going 7 is just because they have the slightest chance to pull off some bullshit and end up in the NFC Championship, and who knows what goes. They have a chance, like because that's just who the Pack. That's their DNA right now, this year, right? That's them. But to your point about the cliff and how reality happens, because here's the thing: about 3 years ago, Saints fan myself, obviously, there was a time where Drew started to kind of fall off a cliff, and there's this weird 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks where you kind of just can't accept it. It's like, no, he's gonna turn around. He just has something dealing. He's in his shoulder, and it'll go away. Something in his hand, just nagging him.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's not nagging him. It's there. He's literally, they're 40-year-old men. And that's what's crazy. And it's like, it sounds funny, but it's not even funny, where it's like they're turning into like not old men, but like older middle-aged men. And it's like there is a reality of things that come with it. Even Tom Brady is starting, this man, he got like a 5-year, he got like 5 extra years, but even Brady, we're starting to see just a little bit where it's like, maybe he can't do everything anymore. And that's
they're getting hit a lot. That's a big thing.
No, it is
very true.
Yes. And that's the point actually that I forgot, but very to your point, the Packers O-line, the Bucs O-line is not stout anymore. If they're going to play, and that's the Saints, they're having the same problem. Your quarterback is going to start losing it when they already are losing it with age. There's just where's the redemption for them, I guess? Receivers aren't there. O-line isn't there. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't play perfect, what's the end game for the season? And if they didn't have the pedigree, they have, the panic meter would be a 10.
All right. I like the analysis. Love it. Any Packer slander warms my heart. It's cool to me. Mr. Sheehan, what is your panic meter stand?
My panic meter, I gave this a lot of thought
It's going to
because
make me sick.
I think so too.
it probably will.
Oh, no.
You look at the remaining schedule for the Packers. There are some really tough games in here. I'm not going to lie. You play the Bills, you play the Cowboys, you play the Eagles, you play the Rams, you play the Dolphins, you play the Vikings again.
Mm-hmm.
That's
you
kind
play
of
the
a tough
Bears
slate.
again.
Yeah, play the Bears again, play the Lions twice, and the Commanders. So there's some easy wins, and then there's some games where you're like, I don't know if they can do it. I don't know if I have faith in them to do it. But the reason why my panic meter for the Packers is a 6.
Oh, wait.
It's upside down.
He tricked us.
Went from a 6 to a 9.
Yo.
Panic meter is a 6. Sorry to blue ball you like that, but the fact of the matter is the NFC is not a good division.
Yeah.
When you look at the playoff teams that are there right now, like, I don't think the Giants are going to make the playoffs.
That is hot take at the moment.
Take.
That's hot take with the
No.
way the wild card's going.
No, it's not.
That's
This is
very, very hot.
the
I
first
believe.
half of the season is not extremely telling, and there are a lot of talented teams in this league that are better than the Giants. The Saints are better than the Giants. There's a ton of teams.
I
in
was
the NFC
waiting for it,
that
and I
are
was
better
literally
than the
just waiting.
Giants. That'll come to tell. But the matter of the fact is, the Packers are probably going to make the playoffs. I don't know what they're going to do in it, but they're going to make the playoffs. So you can't be too panicked because as an organization, you're assuming you're going to make it to the postseason, and that's a win in itself.
Mine's gonna be quick and easy. I'm gonna one up Hunter. Mine's a 9, and I said it from the start of the season. What are those receivers doing? What are they doing? Were they not going to be the Achilles heel to this team? I mean, yes, Rodgers is great and all. He's getting hurt, getting hit back there. Like, I don't think they have enough horses in the race
No.
to compete with other teams. Like, if you're lining up against them on defense, why not just play man across Lazard, Dobbs, and Cobb or Amari Rodgers and just load the box?
Well, Cobb is
You
out for
forgot
a little bit
And
now.
Cobb is hurt.
High ankle sprain.
Why not just load the box and play man? Because I guarantee you, whoever you're playing on the other side, they're gonna have better corners when it gets to the playoffs or whatnot. That's gonna be worrisome.
I think we all can agree with this. I think this is the consensus. I think we all agree with this. If the Packers defense does not play circa Broncos 2015, there's not a shot they have to win the Super Bowl. That's
No.
really the reality of the situation.
And you have to look at it like these are young receivers. They don't have playoff experience. So
They don't have it.
when
It's
they get into
scary.
that game, they don't know what's going on.
Right. It's gonna be scary. They don't even have experience in general right now, like honestly. But I'm gonna stop there. I don't know. It is very scary, but very awesome to see for me. Just
That's actually just hysterical the way that you just look saying that.
last question. I'm gonna keep it short. I don't know if you still wanted to get into your thing.
Yeah.
Is there a team in the AFC to threaten the top 2? If there is, who is it?
That's a good one.
I would like. Okay, so
Give me 1 second.
I am going to sound kind of crazy for saying this, but I know Connor will like this.
Hey.
Tyler's going to hate it. I feel like at full strength, full motion,
Yes.
the Dolphins can sneak out a win.
Yes.
I'm not saying they're a better team. I think based off scheming and all that stuff, they can beat the Bills. They can beat the Chiefs. It's not going to be like, it's going to be a thing where it's like, oh my God, what the fuck are the Dolphins doing on offense? And the Bills just don't know how to handle it. Chiefs don't know how to handle it. I see it more of the Chiefs than the Bills. The Bills just look kind of different this year. But I could see the Dolphins doing it if Tua comes back and was playing like he was. Tyreek Hill is playing insane. People wrote him off just because he wasn't on the Chiefs. Like he's not the fastest receiver in the league and can't take it fucking 80 yards on a slant.
Thought about this morning. Is Tyreek, because I want to say this in the show, Tyreek is officially the most dynamic receiver in the league. He has cemented himself. He's fast, the possession, the jump and catch. Tyreek Hill, Hall of Fame talent, absolutely. We already knew this, but it's like he's just fully solidified himself as one of our generation's guys.
Hunter, you're
Dolphins?
so right. You're so right.
Is there a team in the NFC?
That's the only one at full strength. It's got to be the Dolphins.
Is it across the board that we're agreeing?
That was
the
cool. That was cool as
It's
fuck,
the
Hunter.
That was so sick.
It's the only team dynamic enough. They are the only team dynamic enough to beat either of them. And because that's the thing, is Dolphins defense too. They are electric at full volume. They're electric.
It'll take a team that is electric to beat those type of teams. Not a team that is just good. A team that can just show up one day and just outperform.
No, and you know, because remember, on the best days, we love it. When they started like 2 years ago, when the Dolphins defense just takes, they'll take Xavier Howard. They got him moving in and out the box. You know what I mean? They got the linebacker. He's coming up and down the line. When that defense has 5 guys in motion, 4 guys in motion pre-snap, and you just have no clue where the fuck they're going to rotate, that's how they're going to, if they can play perfect offense, have a game like that on defense in the playoffs, they totally can beat the Bills and the Chiefs. Like, that's what's crazy about it.
I'm glad we all got, you guys are all agreeing, but since I have the floor, I'm gonna start. I'm just gonna say something. Mitch shit on the Bucs, and I love it. I love every part of that. I love it. I love it so much. I don't know what can you say? A Mitch hater. What can you say?
I can say something.
You can say basically nothing.
I can say.
Anyways.
Hey, wait. Can I say something?
Go ahead.
All right. The game script is so much different from when you start a game at the beginning and you're the starter. You're walking out there like, oh shit, I got to play 4 good quarters of football. Yeah, Mitch can play 2, but can he play 4? No.
That's a low-key good point.
I will say this about Mitch.
Agree. I like what you said. But I think it was a 3rd and 15 and then a 3rd and 12 that he just delivered dots to win the game. And then he got a first down with his legs to end the game.
Thanks for keeping the Saints in the playoffs, bro.
He's playing. Keeping the Saints in the I don't know what else you have to say. Yeah, you're going to say the 4 quarters thing, but
so
man, that was awesome to see for myself. I loved every second of it, even though I bet on the Bucs. I don't care that I lost money. Mitch did his thing too. I fucking loved every second of that. Every second.
Mitch can play. I feel like when he doesn't have the pressure of like losing a starting position, and he got thrown in there and he didn't have to think. He just played.
He just went out the ball. Yeah,
Mitch. That's the whole thing. Is he's an athlete. He can make plays. But when he gets to a mental game, he's not going to win. He's kind of. I don't want to say he's weak mentally, but he's not built for those mental battles in games.
You can say it.
Fair.
You can say it if you want.
I'm just thinking if you say someone's weak mentally, it sounds kind of bad.
Here we go.
No, you're right.
Here we go. Right. He's the best backup alert. Is he not? Is Mitch Trubisky the best backup in the league?
No.
Well, Andy he might have the starting job
Andy
again.
Dalton might be, but
no.
Why not? Why not?
Why? There's no reason to. You gotta.
You
you can't go back.
Yeah, no, you can't. That
Why
would
not?
be. It's Mike Tomlin, bro.
Bro, if the Bears went from starting Justin Fields to benching him and putting back Nick Foles in,
that was what I was gonna say
and then
about
back to Justin.
Zappy.
Hey, Justin,
Matt.
sorry, buddy.
That's a good point.
You could kill Mac's confidence if you stick with Zap. So you got to know, like, that's the guy you want to go with.
Yep.
Well, Pickett wasn't getting the job done. That's like this is no. This is a team that was struggling more than anything in the world.
That's true.
They were on the bottom of the barrel
because they suck.
They got lucky.
They played an awesome game.
I'm sorry, Pittsburgh. They suck.
No. Listen to me. They outplayed the Bucs yesterday without any secondary. No secondary. It was all a bunch of guys who probably shouldn't be on NFL.
Because the Bucs suck too.
They came up.
I felt like it was a get right game for them.
They came up and played well. How can you not give them their flowers for that?
I'm giving it. No, Mitch actually single-handedly basically kept the Saints in the playoffs yesterday.
Mitch won them the game,
but like they still.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're good, but like they were in the dumps. 1-4, just got blown up by 35 points to the Bills, and they responded like this with no secondary.
Let me just fact check myself here, but they're not. They're. That's just how weird the NFL. This is what we said. The NFL's weird this year. They're still just one game out of the playoffs. Like.
Yeah,
they're right there. So.
It's very early in the season still.
It's early still. Yeah, they could. I don't think it's good, but what if TJ Watt comes back?
Yeah, he's their best player. They don't win games.
This will be a sucky team.
They beat the Bengals week 1 because of TJ Watt.
This is actually a good transition into kind of what I wanted to bring up. Just kind of our last segment is like injuries, right? So like, I don't know if you guys saw, Tyler, I know you did. Fox released their BUS rankings, and what BUS stands for is their banged up score. So it grades teams on how healthy they are. Number 1 is Philadelphia. They're at an 89.3. So 89.3 is the top. Okay, the bottom is 60.4, which is the San Francisco 49ers. And I feel like the 49ers are always injured at some point. You have to look at the training staff, what's going on there, because like to be at the bottom, I didn't look it up, but I have a feeling they ranks probably pretty low in the past couple of years. And at that point, it's kind of like when I look at Chicago teams, I go, I feel like they have good players, but they can never develop talent. And that's something you have to look at an internal level, especially even with, just like I was saying with injuries. So something I think is very interesting that I want to point out. The Giants are 5-1 with a very shitty roster compared to the rest of the league. They are currently ranked 28th, 62.7. The fact that they're able to get it done, 5-1, and this is what I want to say about the Giants. They're not that good, but they made it through the toughest part of their schedule. The toughest part of their schedule, they're 5-1. They play like the Commanders, the Texans, I think. Like their schedule for the rest of the year is not the greatest. So my thing is, that's why I think they make the playoffs. Strictly because they made it through the toughest part of the schedule, injured, they don't have a great roster, and they're all going to get healthier throughout the season. Okay. Another thing I want to point out, KC is number 4. They are healthy. And KC looks good, but they don't look at that next level like the Bills. So my thing is, if you take away a couple injuries, or you give them, if there's someone get injured later in the season, I don't know how strong they are.
So wait, the Chiefs are the 4th least?
No,
fourth healthiest.
Fourth healthiest team.
4th healthiest team.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just another thing, just Denver's also down there. So like while Denver's not performing, they're 29th. So
how bad are the Saints?
Wait, when you say down there, does that mean that they're healthy?
No. So
Down there means they're not healthy.
not healthy.
Okay.
So the lower the score, the less healthy they are.
Okay.
The Saints are actually 30th, right behind Denver.
I knew we had to be
Baltimore
really
is
bad.
27th. And yeah, I mean, those are like Buffalo's 11th. So they're out of the top 10 for healthiest, and they're still looking like that.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay that's another thing about Green Bay. They're 6th. They're
So
6th.
they're very healthy.
They're
Very
very
concerning.
healthy, and they're not performing. So I think, honestly, like when you look at power rankings, you also have to look at how injured a team is. Because if they're injured and they're just not playing well, I feel like that has to go into how they rank. You know what I'm saying? If they're
Mhm.
performing with an injured team. I mean, is there anything that you guys like want to talk? I just wanted to kind of bring this up. I think it's very interesting.
I just wanted to say this we'll send this to the NFL. Get your trophy ready and just give it to Brian Dable for Coach of the Year.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Just give it to him. There needs to be no other debate. If they go like 9-8 or whatever, I don't care. Look at the roster from top to bottom, and you can't tell me that's a roster that you predict to go 5-1 at the beginning of the year because he has them playing like crazy. So just hand it off to him and let him ride off into the sunset.
And I just want to piggyback off that. I just want to have this because I think this is a good point that I think a lot of football fans need to hear, especially if they're in a bad coaching situation right now. Give them some hope. I think the thing I love most about the Dable situation is we went from Joe Judge, who is just, and I'm not taking anything away from Judge. We know he's a great special teams coordinator, and he's obviously done great things in the league. Not taking anything away from him. Talent, he's a talented guy. But look, here's the reality situation. As a head coach, Joe Judge was the hard ass, the smart guy. Everything's gonna be his way. Well, how funny is that when you get in position of power, things don't just always get to be that way. And it's where now we get Dable, the guy who's team first. Love the team. It's all about the team. Is it any ironic to you, or is it to me it makes sense. It just makes sense that when you're playing for each other instead of for the brand, there's just such a refreshing vibe around the organization they haven't had in so long.
You're really right.
You know what I mean? And I think it's just my point is I think too many head coaches go into their first, because that was his first head coach job. They go into their first job and it's just too rigid. They're just too rigid, and they forget what got them there. It's the camaraderie of the squad. We're seeing that with the Giants. That's what I love the most about Dable. That's just the point I wanted to rattle off.
Connor, you got anything to close out?
Yeah, I want to ask you where the Dolphins are on that list.
Dolphins are actually 8th.
8th
So
healthiest?
So I'll read off really quick just the top 10. Philly 1, Jacksonville 2, Chicago 3, KC 4, Minnesota 5, Green Bay 6, Jets 7, Miami 8, Las Vegas 9, Cincinnati 10.
So the thing that this makes me think about listening to these bust rankings, positional value comes to mind because Miami, their starting quarterback, went down with an injury and he hasn't played for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
They've had backup after backup literally cycling in for the last couple of weeks. So I think the positional value of these bus scores has to be taken into like account, because
that would be a cool stat.
It would be a fantastic thing to think about, because I mean, Miami might be one of the least healthiest teams if you take into the fact that the quarterback is
Positional value, yeah.
the most important part of this game. And also you talk the Ravens aren't very healthy, as they weren't last year either. Like Ronnie Stanley is just slowly starting to come back into playing full time now, and he's one of the best left tackles in the game. So like your left tackle matters a hell of a lot more than if you're missing a left guard.
I also don't know if suspensions count, because Cleveland and Arizona are both like pretty low on here.
I'm sure they might.
I mean, it might be, but it's probably like, I was just about to say, like, you might have done something there, because like Tyreek Hill is out, or whatever. That's going to be 0.5% points, or 1%, 2%, whatever. So you don't really know like who's going to be, who's actually hurt or whatever. But
right,
that's a huge thing.
That should be a stat.
Tyreek Hill's out. Your offense is almost out.
You're done for.
You're kind of.
How are you going to win a game without him?
You're kind of out of here, yeah.
Right.
So that is a good point that you made. Should we dive into that a little bit?
I don't know how you.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how you would.
I feel like if you can find a way to assign a number or positional value to a player, and then somehow multiply that, or like put in an equation with the bus score, I feel like you get like a realistic not value, but like a realistic look at what the roster looks like.
No, you're right. And assigning that number value is probably going to be the toughest part of it, because like some people weigh different positions more than others.
Yeah.
Like a corner might be worth like 20% of the team's value to somebody, and then it might be 10 for another person, or a scheme.
You'd almost have to do like a standard system.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, I feel like you'd have to do it off like target share or like snap percentage.
Snap count would be
Yeah,
huge.
For each position it has to be different, but the wheels are turning. For QBs, it'd have to be something like we'd have to factor age along with QBR, along with career win percentage. It'd have to be some crazy thing, but there's definitely got to be a way to calculate it. Like, and then for receiver, you have target share.
We're gonna get into
catch
that
percentage.
somehow.
There would have to, but there's a way you can. Oh my God, we might be sitting on the gold mine here of stats, boys. You got to lock in.
You don't know ball stats.
You don't know these are real.
We could.
This is some real.
Connor, you got to cook this up. I feel like you would spaz.
I'm thinking about, because
make like a module.
I had 2 years ago, I made a tier rankings based on a numbers point system, and the numbers point system, it was a little bit, risky. It's the first time I've done it before. So no, it wasn't perfect, but I mean, like, assigning the value to each position is probably going to be the hardest thing. And I think that's something that we'd have to do as a group, because like, what would you give the quarterback's overall effect on a certain NFL game has to be huge, because he's got the ball every single time and he's making all the plays and he's the one putting the points on the board. So like, do you give him almost like half of the freaking game is on the quarterback's shoulders?
Yeah, you have to.
That's huge. And then like left tackle, if you take out half the points, then like, where are you going to assign everything else? Like at the end of the day, is a guard going to be worth like 1% of the game?
Right.
Yeah.
Because like,
I feel like you damn near have to like split it between offense and defense, like, and then do a total points.
Yeah.
Right. Like, because you got to grade the backup quarterback differently than you
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The starter.
100%.
So, but this is good. We ran a little over like we usually do, but I mean, I would love to discuss this off pod, because I think it's a really
We
cool
could
stat.
snap.
But yeah,
We definitely can snap.
good pod today, guys.
We'll get something
Hey.
cooking in the lab.
Thanks for listening. Right. That's
Yeah.
how we wrap it
Talk.
up. Week 7 coming up soon, huh?
Coming up soon.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Dylan, be safe with the Bobcat.
Yeah, Dylan.
Yeah. Still.
If you need help,
good
give
luck,
us a
sir.
call.
Wild as hell.
Bye.